is not something that's quick, but it's practical. Hi friends, welcome. Excited to have you here. Welcome to my channel. If you guys are new here, I am Jess. I am someone who talks all about lifestyle and cozy sustainability of personal development. I asked on the private group on Facebook what you guys wanted to hear about next. The one that we're going to talk about today, though, is making time for yourself. Most moms who come into this group seeking advice on how to experience burnout, they experience frustration and overwhelm, that then they just don't know what to do with themselves, and they're living in this state of autopilot, just trying to get through the day and complete survival mode. First off, I don't want you to think in this video that I'm talking about you have to spend a lot of money to have spare time. So today we're going to talk about reachable ways to make time for yourself. And whether that be because you work a 9-to-5 job, you have 2 jobs, you have 0 support around you, you have busy lives with kids, or just some XYZ example that I haven't thought of that you are going through currently, and it's just not on your radar. It's not possible for you, or at least it doesn't seem possible. Hopefully by the end of this video you will feel more like you can take a breath, like, okay, there might be some possibility of fitting time in for yourself. So before we begin, I want you to think about what you're currently feeling, and I highly recommend having a journal throughout this video. What you're currently experiencing having 0 time for yourself. I want you to come up with all the reasons why you can't make time for yourself. Like I said, whether that's a 9-to-5 job, whether that's kids, whether that's 0 support, you literally don't have time for it. So I want you to come up with all of these. When I say what you currently are experiencing, I want you to name it off, whether that be you're so overwhelmed, you are so frustrated, or you are resentful that you can't make time for yourself. Maybe you do have a partner where they give 0 support, or are you just completely at burnout? Nothing I say in this video is going to make a difference in your life. You're at complete bottom. I want you to list that off. Be completely honest with yourself. Be completely honest here. So take some time, pause the video if you want to write that down. And I want you to see this. And I want you to tell yourself, and it might be completely obvious, but this not making time for yourself isn't serving you. Now I know. You're like, Jess, like, come on. It's like actually a trigger. Like, why would you, like, of course I know that it's not serving me. Why else would I be watching this video? You're supposed to be telling me. Bottom line, we can all admit as parents, as moms, what we put out, our kids pick up, right? They are like sponges. We've heard that term so many times. I want you to think about who taught you the guilt and the shame game when it comes to putting yourself as a priority. Who created that for you? Maybe it wasn't somebody. Maybe it was yourself. Maybe you don't trust anybody to get something done correctly on your terms, right? Maybe it was someone. So I want you to write that down. Who was your first memory of telling you that you are undeserving, that you only deserve bare minimum? Maybe someone made you feel so inadequate that you automatically went into I need to earn my self-care. but then you don't know how to give the self-care, right? So everything I'm telling you is something that I had to face myself. I had to come to terms that how I treat myself is how I'm teaching my girls to treat themselves. I always say our children are literally walking around triggers for ourselves. They are either the thing that we didn't get as a kid, or they are something that we have to heal within ourselves and cause frustration. They cause anger, like every emotion. They are our walking triggers. And as someone who is basically obsessed with personal development, I take that as a challenge and I ask myself why all the time. I ask myself, why is that frustrating me? Why did I say no? Why? A little bit of a background. I personally have, I'm self-employed. I have my own business. I've ran it for 7 years. I'm a massage therapist. I also homeschool 3 times a week. These are my secrets of running my own business, being a homeschooling mom. And I also work a thrift store a couple times a week for this past year. So to say the least, I spread myself pretty thin when it comes to time. Like homeschooling, working a career, and extra whatever work that comes to mind that I just want to do. I want you to start seeing your energy as very precious. We have to teach our kids that their energy is precious. Otherwise, we're going to be raising people pleasers, people fixers, basically whoever we are. To be very clear, I don't want you to feel like I'm coming in here and judging you. I don't want you to feel like what I'm saying is like you are broken and you need to be fixed. This is all on your terms. This is all your journey. I personally have taken this journey over the last 10 years, and I put that responsibility on myself. Now it's up to you to take that however you want to. Back to that, our energy is precious. And if we are running on fumes, why would we spread ourselves even more thin? So as moms, we have to think about our kids, putting our kids first, of course. But I don't want you to feel guilty. I don't want you to feel the shame. So we need to break down that wall of the guilt and shame when deciding to make time for yourself, because you deserve it. You deserve more than the bare minimum. Can we just admit that? Can we tell ourselves that we deserve more than just the bare minimum, to not live on autopilot, to not live in this shame and this guilt game? We deserve it. Why is it so hard for us to admit that? I want you, and take some time with this, I want you to write down the priorities of your day. Write down what absolutely has to be done, you have to do. Where do you have to be? From this time to this time, where do you need to be? Be specific as possible. So, for example, when you are working the 9 to 5, you have this and this time, and then you have lunch. And then you have this break or whatever, 15-minute break or whatever. And then you go home. You got to pick up the kids. You got to make dinner. You got to get them for bed and get them ready for school, right? I want you to be that specific. Time. And then I want you to analyze that and see how many minutes in between that time is available to you. Because the truth is, most of the time that we spend in those breaks, we're most likely binging videos. 7 to 15 second videos. One thing that I really enjoy talking about is hormones. And there's 2 hormones, and they're dopamine and serotonin. If you don't know those names, dopamine is really very synthetic right now. It's our instant gratification hormone. So whether that be scrolling and we see something that makes us laugh, if it's making you excited, it's releasing dopamine. That's like, okay, so that's our quick one. Though I do all these things online, I am one to tell you to get off social media. Now, they're not going to like that. They're not going to like that I'm telling you to get off. It will serve you. It will serve you so much to get off and do something else. So if we're honest with ourselves and we see how many hours we actually go through, that is a synthetic dopamine. And what that's telling our brains is it's instant gratification. I really like that. I need to continue doing it. It's the reason why social media is so addictive. If we get out into the real world, it's not that easy to get. It's not as easy. And I want you to think of things that you would really enjoy. Come up with a good 15 of them, okay? Write down as many as you can. If you can't think of any yourself, you can just Google. You can just Google some things of how to, like, fun things to do on your spare time, right? Be surprised of what you can fit into that time. So I don't want you to think that you have to have a full 24 hours to yourself or a weekend away. Okay, we're looking for little things to fill your cup in the time that you have so that you aren't overloaded and running on fumes. We want little bits of filling the cup. So now that we have our routine, we absolutely need to get done during the day and list of things that we can take off from this list and put into our slots. So you can make something like this, for example. So this is cup fill examples. Here's your time slots. You don't have to do it like this. This is just something visually. So it's like a rough draft. And then the other thing is I want you, with writing down things that you can control and things that you can't control. There's so many things that we can't control in life. And yet we don't really focus in on what we actually can control. We can't control our partners. We can't control our friends. We can't control our bosses and our jobs and what absolutely needs to get done in our day. But so what do we have control over? Well, we have control over ourselves. We have control over the routine and the way that our mindset is set during this period. Okay? So by the time you are done with this list, you should have a pretty good idea of things that you can do differently. Now that's where personal motivation comes in. I'm just giving you the information for you to see how you can fit it in. Now, it's not instant gratification. There's absolutely no dopamine set within this. But I promise you, if you dedicate yourself at least a week to 2 weeks into this way of creating your routine, you will see a huge difference in yourself. And I want you to also see it as it's the little things. It's the small, tiny times, the minutes, the 5 minutes that you have to yourself. That's where it's at. This is 80% of your life is in those 5 minutes. Okay? I want you to focus in on the very first question that I had you ask yourself of what you're currently experiencing and feeling, not making time for yourself, not having time for yourself. It's not serving you. These little times that we dedicate for ourselves, and in the small times, it's where we build trust and love for ourselves. And if we were to dedicate this time to love and trust ourselves, that's when our mindsets begin to switch. Our mindsets start to think of this life that we're living as a supported one. Like we are divinely guided. We are here for a reason because we are. And that all comes in with mindset. It's all mindset. It's not serving you. You deserve more than bare minimum. You deserve to not feel shame or guilt. It is not something that's quick, but it's practical. It's practical and sustainable, and that is the goal. And if we create that, then it's going to be lifestyle change, not just temporary, easy fix. Okay? So I really hope this video helps you, and I hope you enjoy it. And let me know what you want to hear about next.